Can I have a motion to resume public session? Dr. Richards, Mr. Moscato, all in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, that moves us forward to the oath of office for the new board member. The district clerk will administer the oath of office to the newly selected board member, Ms. Tanya Cervinovsky. Sorry for the really long pause there.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right, if you can raise your right hand. Okay, I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New York,
of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
school board member
school board member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. And moving forward
And then
to
sign here.
board president comments. Just wanted to take a minute to go back to agenda changes because I can't read apparently, sorry. All right, agenda changes. Do we have any?
Yes, to personnel.
Thank you. Okay, now we're moving on to board president's comments. Just wanted to take a minute to thank everybody who's here tonight, having a few minutes out of your day as we're getting really close to the beginning of the school year, which is a big time for everybody involved in our community, students, staff, families. It brings us back to different routines and different changes. And I wanted to take this time to really thank our community for the different events that have been going on in the past few weeks to welcome our students, to welcome our families, give people a chance to meet new people or reacclimate to their settings. Some have been taking place on playgrounds, really just getting a chance to celebrate the end of your summertime and welcome in the new school year. So thank you, everybody. Moving forward to points of interest. Do we have any? Mr. Moscato?
Just a comment about Monroe County School Board Association is having a social hour next Wednesday at Doubletree, starting at 4 o'clock. It's a good chance just to meet other board members and the staff from Monroe County School Board Association.
Thank you. Do we have any other points of interest? Ms. Kais?
I think it's a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. Got to see the Gates Highly Marching Band field show. They did a preview for parents after their week-long band camp. It's always nice to see how quickly those kids can put together an incredible show. And it's nice to see them with school spirit and back on our campus.
Any other points of interest? I just wanted to add one final one that just came back to my mind when you mentioned band. My daughter had the chance to participate in the little mini band camp for fourth graders doing band for the first time, which was very exciting for our family because we haven't gone along that route in the past. So it was nice to see her with kids from all different schools that are all her age and trying something new, and I really appreciate the staff that was there to support that. Okay, moving forward then to report of meetings. Do we have any meetings? Okay. Visitors' comments. Do we? No? Okay. Moving forward to reports. We have our curriculum and instruction report.
Good evening, President Coffey, Superintendent Daly, and members of the board. Thank you for this opportunity to provide the Office of Instruction update for you all this evening. Eva? Nope. It's on. I tested it. All right, so tonight we'll provide an overview of our team as well as some of the updates throughout the programs that we support and the focus areas moving into this year. And so our team, I'm joined by Katie Kuhn, Director of Secondary Education, as well as Terry Marsh, our Director of Student and Staff Success, and Sarah Musino, our Director of Elementary Education. And so these three are outstanding leaders, doing a great job collaborating with district, building, and teacher leaders throughout the district to move the work that we're doing forward. You also see on the slide our coaches, Jen, Matt, Mike, and Wendy, who do an outstanding job supporting our staff through professional learning, modeling best practices, as well as ensuring consistency in the work that we do throughout the district and support that they provide our teachers. And last but not least, the backbone of our team, Lindsay DiMartino and Joanna Salandi, who are our assistants and support our team with the work that we do.
So as Troy mentioned, part of our team really includes our teacher leaders, unofficially part of the Office of Instruction, but we currently have 64 teacher leaders throughout our district that help us to move all of the work that we do forward. Everything that we do, all of our focus areas first go through our teacher leaders, who then help us to build that capacity within their grade levels and their departments and buildings that they work with. So the structure of teacher leadership that we have built currently includes curriculum leaders for our bigger departments, so math, science, ELA, social studies, and special education each have a curriculum leader that oversees their programming 6-12 and works between the two buildings for vertical alignment. The middle school and high school also have department leaders for every content area. And then at the elementary level, we have content leaders in the buildings, math, ELA, social studies, and science in every building. And then for some of our other essential areas like physical education, art, music, library, and ESL, we have content leaders that work across the 4 buildings. So the structure has really been built in a way that will build consistency across buildings and vertically and horizontally. Our instructional coaches are also part of that teacher leadership team, really working with all of them on all of our initiatives. So the structure of our meetings really district-wide, our teacher leaders work with us 4 times a year. We have a summer meeting that we just had. We have one in the fall, spring, and in the winter. And then in their buildings, they also meet with their principals monthly to build those instructional leadership teams within the buildings.
All right, so our Gates Child Rigor Framework really is the foundation for the work that we do around curriculum, instruction, and assessments. And it is what we leverage when we think about the decisions that we make as a team in the Office of Instruction. The last couple of years, we leveraged faculty meetings to work with staff to help bring the rigor framework to life. This year, we're going to take a little bit of a different approach, leveraging our newsletter to think about ways to provide additional guidance and support with the things that we're doing to support our elementary and secondary educators, as well as important updates and professional learning opportunities. We are also going to utilize what we call walk and talks. And walk and talks are what we started last year, an opportunity for us to get into classrooms to see the learning firsthand. And so we were able to get into almost every classroom last year at least once, if not multiple times. And those individuals who are participating in the walk and talks are myself, and depending on what building it is, our secondary or elementary director, as well as the building principal. And so, as I said, that is our opportunity to see the learning in action, understand whether or not we have the resources we need, as well as the professional learning necessary to continue the growth throughout the district. And this year, we're going to expand that to include our assistant principals, as well as teacher leaders, and so that we can get in and reinforce the work that we're doing. The last piece are instructional areas of focus, which are new this year, where we've identified 3 areas collaboratively with district building and teacher leaders throughout the district to identify what are 3 high leverage things that we'll talk about a little bit later in the presentation to focus on throughout this year.
So this past summer, led by Summer Program Principal Dr. Adam Foley, our elementary summer program was able to host and serve 160 students. We focused on students in grades K through 5 that were receiving Tier 2 or Tier 3 interventions the previous school year. So Tier 2 meaning they received targeted or like grouping of similar need in the school year, or they were Tier 3, which they had individualized plans to support their intervention needs. This allowed our students who received Tier 2 or Tier 3 interventions to continue with their learning throughout the summer and also have some fun.
And at the secondary level, we continued our summer program offerings. We also had a summer principal who is currently at our high school as our credit recovery specialist, Tom Martins. He helped to oversee our secondary programming. We offered programs around the areas of STEM, which really was focused on keeping kids engaged in science and math and experimentation. We had an ENL program for our ESL students. We had a pre-algebra program to help some of our kids that needed that boost before high school algebra. We had a 15-to-1 program for our special education students that are already in that self-contained program, as well as a humanities that focused on content-based writing, and the credit recovery, which Tom did after students came back from regional summer school. So that program was able to host over 75 students. Most of those programs, depending on, either students were already in an existing program, such as the ENL or the 15-to-1, or they were recommended by their teachers and counselors for the secondary programming. Oh, it's still me. So this spring, we hosted several sessions of curriculum development training. We do this every few years to kind of reground our expectations in preparation for the summer work that we do. We have a lot of curriculum writing that happens over the summer, so it's important every few years to bring all of our teachers together and reground them in our expectations so that we are having consistent expectations as we develop our curriculum. So our curriculum is developed in a backwards design that goes through 3 stages. So first we define what students need to know, understand, and be able to do in our stage 1. Then we define how they will be assessed or how we'll measure their progress towards those goals. And then we really lay out what the learning plan and the materials and resources will be. So throughout those sessions, we held different half-day sessions to meet the needs of all of our teachers. We had over 100 teachers participate, and we'll continue to do refresher sessions of those so that we can keep everyone aligned on our curricular expectations.
So professional learning continues to be a priority in the district by investing in our staff that really also invests in our students and their success. And so there's 3 areas of focus that we've really tried to prioritize this past year and then moving into the future years. When we talk about systems development, we're really trying to prioritize what is happening and how is it happening in our district and being very thoughtful around that. So really being able to provide clarity and consistency around our professional learning, both in our catalog for opportunities for staff to take professional learning, but also in our processes behind the scenes on how we're taking care of making sure that everyone is getting what they need. We also have professional learning in action. So when we talk about that, it's really thoughtfully aligning learning cohorts. It's thoughtfully aligning how we are planning our learning from our administrators to our staff to our students. And what are those takeaway action items that when staff leave professional learning, we can then see that in action in our classrooms when we do our walk and talks. And then our superintendent conference days. That's really the gift of time. It's the time for collaboration, the time to really dive into our district priorities and put that in action in learning. Whether it's our bus drivers, our transportation aides, clerical, teachers, special educators, all of our staff are included in our superintendent conference days that happened a few years ago, and it's a great opportunity for all of us that are working here in the district to really anchor into the priorities that we have set. We've been blessed to be able to have local professionals and also national speakers join us. This past year we had Regent Ruth Turner join us in October, and Principal Kafele, if you're familiar with his work, join us in March. So we look forward to continuing that as well. A few highlights to just bring up. Our professional learning plan team is a cross-section of staff members from our district, both teachers and administrators. They've really driven this work. It has not been a one person or a couple people. It's really been a collaborative effort. Our culture responsive sustaining education cohorts we've prioritized. We did a few last year, and that's an in-district training, and we continue with that. We have trainings offered in the fall, spring, and will be again next summer. Our therapeutic crisis intervention for schools, or TCIS, that's something that we also have brought in-house, and we're really happy to say that we have a 3-day training that we are offering, as well as a 1-day refresher that is, again, sort of in a systematic way, so we can provide it for all staff that really need it. And we've had over 100 professional learning opportunities in our catalog this past school year, and so we're really excited to continue those learning opportunities as we move into our next school year.
As you know, the strategic plan is woven into everything we do, and as Superintendent Daly has shared, it is not a thing on the plate, it is the plate. And so how does our team engage with the strategic plan? Well, we do in a variety of ways. One of the ways is that you don't see on the graphic is through the equity leadership team. And so myself, as well as Mrs. Marsh, are members of that team planning and preparing for professional learning throughout the district, supporting the building-based teams that you see there, as well as the focus area teams. Also, the district equity team, myself, as well as Mrs. Marsh and Mrs. Musino, are on that team and help to participate in the work that's happening at the district equity team. And then last but not least, the focus areas. The focus areas of teaching and learning, as well as multi-tiered systems of support. And so Katie does a great job with supporting our teacher leadership throughout the district. And as we were working with our teaching and learning focus team, we realized quickly that our capacity that is our teacher leadership, and those 64 leaders throughout our district really are where the teaching and learning focus team should live. And so we made some adjustments to that to help to support the work that we're doing that was already happening with teacher leaders through book studies, as well as professional learnings, and those 4 opportunities that we meet with them annually to continue their work, as well as MTSS.
So when we think about our students and the amazing things that happen every day, we know that everyone is working extremely hard to support them. So when we talk about multi-tiered system of supports, or MTSS, it's really a comprehensive framework that has been a shift the last few years. The thing that we really want to focus on when we talk about MTSS is that it approaches the student from a holistic view. And when you look at this diagram, there's 3 components that MTSS looks at: students academically, behaviorally, and social emotionally. And those 3 areas are really how we figure out what is going on with a student, and then how do we provide supports for each student individually. So when we talk about the framework, when you see along the side there, you see data, systems, and practices. So when we talk about the tiers also that you see in that pyramid, there's 3 tiers. Tier 1, which is encompassing all students. That's our core curriculum, universal screenings and benchmarks, and we're really looking at how do we provide that foundation support and can say all students are receiving this. From there, using our data and systems, we're going to see if they're not able to achieve what we expect them to, we would be able to then support them into Tier 2, so the yellow middle section, and those are specialized supports. That's some of our students. And then we have Tier 3, which is at the top, for a few of our students, and much more intensive supports. When we have our MTSS team, the focus team, it was really reestablished last year, and we began to establish a common understanding. Like, what is MTSS, right? It's another acronym in education, but really, what does it mean? And we grounded ourselves in a vision for what we want MTSS to be here in the district, and a framework for us to move forward. And that framework we're going to continue into next year, and we're going to start talking about common terminology, creating and updating our processes and our systems so that we can incorporate all 3 of these areas to support all of our students in our district, pre-K through 12.
Okay. So our ELA, Elementary Literacy Program, often referred to as ELA or English Language Arts, we're continuing to focus on our improvement and alignment to reading research. That's been a big part of our work since I've been taking on this role. An investment in teacher learning is the first step for us to ensure that solid Tier 1, that core teaching for all students. And so we've been using the LETRS professional learning, or that language essentials for teaching reading and spelling for our teachers. That's a 4-day training that we have committed to for all K-5 instructional staff, and we have been fortunate enough to have that facilitated by our own K-5 literacy coach, Jen Christensen. She has serviced all K-5 instructional staff, and going into this upcoming school year, we'll be running additional 2 cohorts for all new to district staff, and we'll be including our teacher assistants. The big part of this work, though, is that once teachers leave that 4-day training, how do we put that into action for our students? It's one thing to sit and have that learning, but now we have to kind of process it, and what does that actually look like in our classrooms? So our K-5 literacy coach, in collaboration with our building reading teachers who are teacher leaders in ELA at each of our elementary buildings, are working collaboratively to develop professional learning for each grade level, specific to their needs, so that our students are able to benefit from this learning. Because it's really important that we support teachers throughout the year, not just this one-time training, but that we're building on that throughout the year. So that is something that we're really focusing on this year, consistent implementation of that across all buildings and all grade levels.
We are so excited this year that this will be the first year that we will be offering the New York State Seal of Civic Readiness to our students. So you've heard me here the past few years celebrating our students that have earned the seal by literacy. So this spring, we hope to bring you several students that will be earning their seal of civic readiness. So we have worked this past spring to communicate to all of our students. We went into classrooms for every rising junior and rising senior, so they each had a presentation to let them know what the seal was, how they could earn their points, why it would benefit them. So they all got that presentation so that they knew whether or not this was something that was right for them that they wanted to apply for. Right now, applications are due by November 1st, and we already have over 50 students that have applied that we think are probably on track to earn this. So we are super excited to be back here on June 18th to celebrate with you our first cohort of students earning this seal. Students have to earn points similar to the seal by literacy. They have 2 categories. One for their civic knowledge, which is all about the coursework they take, the assessments they take. So it's really about the knowledge. The other column of points is about civic participation. So what do they do with that knowledge? How are they engaging with their community or going above and beyond to participate in the community? So we're really excited about this. So we will tell you more about it in June. So over the past couple years, we have continued to partner with RBTL as we have for several years, but getting more and more consistent with who we are offering the shows to and how we are connecting them to the curriculum. So this past year, we were able to send students to 4 shows. We had our 7th grade students and also our high school social studies students attend Hamilton, which was a huge undertaking. Lots of students that went to that over 4 nights. Our 6th graders had the opportunity to come from Away, which was a show about the day after 9/11. And then we also had our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders that engaged in the curriculum around Aladdin and had the opportunity not only to go to the show, but have an opportunity to have some of the actors come here and do a Q&A session with those students. And then this past spring, our high school English students learned about and went to the show 6. So we were really excited to offer these, but we're trying to streamline it and who's doing it so that it aligns with the curriculum. All in all, this past year, over 1,750 students went to the shows, so we were really excited about that. We're going to continue that work this year.
So as Katie shared, we are continuing our partnership going into this upcoming school year. But when a season is announced in the spring, our office gets together and has to consider many factors before we can announce which show we will be working with. Those factors include our school calendar. So when shows are announced and when those dates are set that they will be in town, we kind of see how that aligns to our school calendar. We think about curriculum connections, grade level appropriateness, and themes. A big thing is ticket availability that we may not think about, but the length of the run of the shows. Sometimes the shows are in town for 2 weeks, other times they're only here for 1, and they anticipate that they're going to be very popular, which can make it a little bit challenging for us. So those are all things that we think about, and then we also meet with Holly Valentine, who is our arts partner through RBTL, to collaborate with her and get recommendations from her. So with that being said, you can see we have 2 shows up there. Grade 3 will be working with Annie, and grades 8 and 11, yes, will be working with the themes of the temptation, the Ain't Too Proud, the life and times of the Temptations. Oh, that's me, okay. So as Troy shared earlier, as an office, we've collaborated with building leadership and teacher leadership to identify some instructional areas of focus for this upcoming school year that are K-12. So these are areas that we really want to leverage and focus in on when we're at teacher leadership. Buildings can focus on these, and especially when we're in our walk and talks or doing evaluations. So the first area is active student engagement through interactive participation, collaboration, questioning, and authentic learning experiences. So what this really means is when we're walking through classrooms, how are students engaging with the learning and how are they engaging with the curriculum? Are they asking questions? Are they initiating questions? Are they answering questions of their peers? Is the teacher facilitating the conversation? Are they in small groups? Who's leading those small groups? If it's whole group, how is that looking and how are they receiving that information? And so really we're thinking to a balance of that teacher talk versus student talk when walking through the classrooms.
Our second instructional area of focus is students understand their learning targets and success criteria and have high expectations for their own learning. So what does that look like? That looks like when we walk into a classroom, we may ask a student, what are you learning? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You might get some interesting answers, but we hope they're able to tell us a little bit about what they're doing and what their teachers are supporting them in learning. Things like using rubrics or having students do some goal setting so that they know where they want to achieve and how they might want to get there. And then also self-assessment. So where am I in the learning? And we can do that really as young as our kindergarten students to really, if they know where they need to get to, they can talk about where they are in their journey.
You've heard us talk a lot tonight about Tier 1 instruction. So our other focus area is seeing that core curriculum come to life and seeing that our students are getting a consistent experience across grade levels, across departments, that they are all focused on those New York State learning standards and that Tier 1 curriculum, but that it's also focused on supporting diverse learning needs of each student. And what that looks like is really having those goals of being the New York State learning standards, but using assessment to make instructional decisions about what each student needs, and then preparing materials and learning opportunities to meet those needs.
So we believe the areas of focus will contribute to student success. The steady support from dedicated educators, staff, as well as family members have played a pivotal role in fostering an environment where students have and will continue to flourish academically. We have seen notable growth over the course of the last year, and our team looks forward to that continued growth into this next school year. With intentional and strategic support, we hope it'll be a great year. That concludes our update. Any questions? All right, so I'll hand out the answer key now and your prizes.
Oh, there's an answer key. Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing.
I was watching. All right, that moves us forward to discussion items. So we have a policy committee update with the first read of 4 different policies with the opportunity to consider waiving the first read later on in the meeting. So we have the first read of policy 6121, sexual harassment of district personnel. We have the first read of policy 6180, student staff relations. We have the first read of policy 3295, online engagement by community and district stakeholders. And the first read of policy 9215, the use of social media for district business. Is there any discussion or additional information? No? Okay. That moves us on to consensus items. We have the approval of the consensus agenda. Motion to approve the consensus agenda. Can I have a motion? Mr. Long, Mr. Kais, Mrs. Kais, I'm sorry. Wow, I am not in my game, I'm sorry. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous. We have a motion to approve consensus items B through H. Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any questions or discussion? All in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous. Okay, that moves us forward to action items. I have a motion to waive second reading of policies 6121, 6180, 3295, and 9215. Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, Mr. Long, any questions or discussion? All in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve policy 6121, 6180, 3295, and 9215? Can I have a motion? Ms. Davis, Dr. Richards, any questions? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve an agreement between Gates Chili Central School District and Mary Cariola Children's Centers Incorporated effective September 1st, 2023 until August 31st, 2024? Can I have a motion? Ms. Littlewood, Mr. Long, any questions? All in favor? Wait, is it a question? Sorry, go ahead.
Do we know how many students we had in the program last year? Okay. All right, no problem.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor? The vote is unanimous. Okay, we have approval of tenure appointment. Be it resolved that the board approves the following tenure appointment at the August 29th, 2023 meeting as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools, Kenneth Hamill, in the tenure and area of Director of Physical Education, Health, and Athletics. Can I have a motion to approve? Or any question? Yeah, motion, sorry. I need to sleep. Ms. Kais, Mr. Bailey, any questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous.
Third time receiving tenure?
Congratulations. All right, moving on to superintendent's comments.
Well, we kicked off the year this morning with the administration, faculty, and staff in a packed GC pack. We had students lead the pledge, sing the national anthem, and had a student performance to start. We also recognized the 160 new employees and also celebrated those that have been with us a while of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35 years of service to the district. It was a great way to focus the start of the year and get ready for our students to come to us next week. So it was a great start to the day. Tomorrow they get to work in their buildings and departments together and get ready for our students next Tuesday. Among the updates we shared at opening day this morning was our exciting news that thanks to a federally funded program, every Gates Chili Spartan can receive a free breakfast and lunch at school every day in the 23-24 school year. The availability of free meals for all students is certainly a proud moment for our school district, reflecting our commitment to equity, inclusivity, and the well-being of our entire school community. Quick but important note for families, you do not have to complete any forms for students to receive free meals at school. But it is critical that all families still complete the income eligibility form, formerly known as the free and reduced meal application. This is tied to many other important benefits, including state funding. You can find that form at gateschili.org/income form. Please continue to fill that out. If we don't have enough filled out, we would not be eligible again next year, so we need to get those forms in. New staff orientation was last Tuesday, where we welcomed our nearly 160 new Spartans who showed up that day to join our team for this year. It was inspiring to see a diverse, engaged, and exciting group that was ready to become part of our Spartan nation. Our HR department has knocked it out of the park this year. We'll be hiring right through the beginning of the year, but that's the environment we currently live in. Needless to say, we are in the best position possible heading into opening day of our new season, thanks to Mrs. Parado and her team. Opening day for students is next Tuesday. We look forward to having all our Spartans back on campus Tuesday, September 5th for the best year yet in Gates Chi-Li. As we shared previously, we'll be doing a transportation study, looking to do an expansive study at the start of our school year. As part of the study, our consultant will be setting up interviews with district and community. More to come as this evolves, but we are looking to make sure we're transporting the best way possible, the most efficient and best way and safest way. We should receive the report back prior to Thanksgiving, and we'll be sharing with the board at that time. I'd also like to thank all our 12-month employees for all the work done this summer to get ready. People often ask, oh, what do you guys do over the summer? Do you guys work? The second graduation's over, we start getting ready for the following year. And we have summer school going as well. But our 12-month employees are here every day, getting ready for the fall, ending reports for the previous school year as well being done at the time. So there's plenty to do. And today we made a point of thanking our facilities and grounds team especially. If you look at all our buildings, they take them apart and put them back together to get ready for the kids to be here and our staff, and they just do an amazing job taking care of our facilities and our grounds. So we wanted to thank them as well. Another thank you goes out to Mr. Mike Bailey. We want to extend a big thank you to him for his service to the Gates Chi-Li Board of Education. He's been a president of the board, was active on policy, safety, FFA, and at just about any committee we've had. His kindness and his ability to always keep the students first in decisions was admirable. We hope you enjoy your additional time, but know that you will be missed. And tonight we also want to welcome our next board member. And with that, welcoming Ms. Tanya Serbanovsky to the GCPLC for the first meeting on September 12th. She was sworn in tonight, but her experience working in another district, being a graduate of Gates Chi-Li, being a very involved parent in our PTOs, make her an outstanding addition to our board, and we look forward to working with you going forward this year. So a great night of thank yous, welcomes, and unfortunately, some goodbyes. But we're excited with the opportunities that we're going to have next week with our students. We're sad to see you go, and we're happy that you'll be coming. So that is my report, President Coffey.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Mr. Bailey, Ms. Littlewood, any questions, concerns? All in favor? Okay, the vote is unanimous. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.